Mary Shelley, the 18-year-old girl who wrote Frankenstein? Well, her mom invented feminism, okay? So welcome back to Hot Girl History, where I teach you about hot girls from history you might not have known about until right now. Today we're talking about Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary Wollstonecraft was born in 1759 to a broke, chaotic family. She had a, you guessed it, drunken, abusive father. She was the second oldest of 7 siblings. She basically raised the whole house. Watching her mom trapped in that marriage basically shaped her entire worldview on like poverty, domestic violence, how dangerous it is for a woman to be dependent on a man. Mary and her sisters barely received any formal education. Mary ended up picking up the few like socially acceptable jobs for a woman to work. As a governess, a teacher, a companion, whatever the hell that means. 1783, she and her sister actually started trying to run a small girls' school. This worked for a little while, but then her sister went off and got married and had kids. Soon after, gender rules, societal issues, and a lack of funding crushed it. Mary did what every hot girl with no opportunities does. She educated herself. Languages, politics, literature, she taught herself all of it. And her frustration for being shut out of education ends up being the fire that inspires her to write the first ever feminist manifesto, a vindication of the rights of women. This was peak Enlightenment era. Philosophers and writers and artists were all talking about human rights, equality, reason, and yet half the population was left out of the equation. Mary said, if reason is universal, why are women excluded? So in 1792, she published The Vindication of the Rights of Women, where she argued that women aren't naturally inferior, they're intentionally undereducated. That feminine behavior is taught intentionally to keep women obedient, and that marriage was basically legal prostitution because women were getting married out of survival. It did not change things overnight, but it did plant the seed for the 19th and 20th century's feminist movements. Later, she would marry William Godwin, a philosopher. Despite not loving the idea of marriage, she did end up getting married because she did end up pregnant with her daughter, Mary Shelley. She had already had one other daughter from a whirlwind romance that didn't end up working out. But sadly, her and William Godwin were only married for 5 months. While giving birth to Mary Shelley, the doctor actually removed her placenta in pieces. They didn't know about germs and they didn't care to study postpartum. And so she developed a fatal infection and died 11 days after giving birth to Mary Shelley at just 38 years old. But she left behind the framework for feminism and the writer of Frankenstein. So I guess that means she is totally a hot girl from history. Mary Wollstonecraft literally walked so we could run. I love you guys so much. Let me know who you want to learn about next. Bye!